Co-op Community Spaces is creating places for everyone. We're funding community projects up to $150,000. Apply online before March 2nd. For more details, visit communityspaces.ca.
The officials for this evening are Nick Fuse, John Rahe, and on the lines, Nick Tran, Fred Sitterington, Mark Vanderveen, Michael Yee. Before we meet the teams, we would like to recognize the Canada West Major Award winners, beginning with the Canada West Player of the Year from Trinity Western University, number 8, Eric Lepke. And next, the Canada West Coach of the Year, also from Trinity Western, Ben Josephson. Congratulations to both of you on these major awards. And now it's time to meet the starting lineups. Starting for Alberta Golden Bears, number 1, Michael Sumner. Number 2, Billy Johnson. Number 4, Jordan Canham. Number 7, Max Elgert. Number 8, Jackson Kennedy. Number 12, George Hoburn. Number 13, Braden Friesen. Alberta is coached by head coach Brock Dennis.
Over to Ashenko, another big swing by Ashenko. And a huge swing from Jacob Kern. Here's the St. Lou, he's blocked. Ashenko. Here's Lepke, over to Jackson Howe. What a cross. Over the back row, Jacob Kern. Here's Howe once again. Out of the back is Lepke, he scores.
Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness.
First contact, and now he'll go to work, and what an angle for Eric Lepke. Second contact, and Jacob Kern going down the line. You can't stop me! But it's Derek F with the finish. The setter, Derek F.
The Trinity Western Spartans are the 2019 Youth Sports Men's Volleyball Champions.
For the home team, defending U Sports and national champions, the Trinity Western University Spartans. In his 5th year, the man from Banff is number 1, PK Ashenko. In his 3rd year from Maple Grove, number 2, Colton Lowen. In his 2nd year out of Calgary, the man with the plan, number 3, Jesse Elser. In his 3rd year of Calgary, it's the howitzer, number 7, Jackson Howe. In his 4th year out of Steinbach, number 8, the king of aces, Eric Leckie. In his 5th year out of Edmonton, number 15, the Colonel, Jacob Kerr. And in his 3rd year out of Saskatoon, locking things down for the Spartans, number 20, the Warden, Derek Add. The Spartans are coached by head coach, the OG, OKG, it's Ben Josephson.
Good evening and welcome inside the Langley Event Center on your Saturday night. The top 2 teams in the country meet for the Canada West Championship. The number 1 Trinity Western Spartans, the home team, against the number 2 Alberta Golden Bears. Tim James alongside former Spartans men's volleyball coach Ron Pike. Great to have you with us. And Ron, going into this one, let's start with the Spartans. The keys to this match with the conference title on the line.
Great to be with you, Tim, tonight. Couple things for the Spartans that are going to be really important. One's they're going to need serving runs. There's not a lot of teams in this country that can side out with the Spartans. If they get a gap on you, they're going to be really tough to beat. Second one they're going to have to make sure they're doing is spreading the court. Jacob Kern is going to be a real big part of tonight's match and making sure that the Spartans keep an attack along the entire net. From Alberta's standpoint, they're going to need to do a little bit of the opposite. Alberta's going to have to keep this game tight. They want quick starts, and they want to make sure they're trading punches early with Trinity. Most importantly, they need to be within shooting distance at 20. The second thing for Alberta that's going to be really important is their wing hitters. This game's going to be an out-of-system battle, and Alberta's wing hitters are going to have to show up, and they're going to have to be able to finish off plays.
It is the Alberta Golden Bears on the right side of your screen to start off, and they will be serving first, going to Colton Low and hard, but Epp able to get this set off, and Eric Lepke, Canada West Player of the Year, sending the ball over first for the Spartans. The block goes up, this goes out of bounds, and it's the Alberta Golden Bears scoring the first point in this match.
Alberta striking first with quick transition here and able to score the point.
It is electric here at the LEC. They have opened up both sides of the gymnasium. It was loud here for the women's side. The Spartans women winning the Canada West Championship just a few minutes ago, and it's an ace as Jesse Elser takes that off the hand, and the Golden Bears are celebrating.
I have a sneaking suspicion Elser is going to be one of those targets for the Bears tonight, but I know he's going to be able to step up and pass that ball.
Max Elgert serving the ball, fourth-year setter. Sends this ball out of bounds. Elgert in his fourth season, Derek Epp in his third season, but of course Epp, a very respectable setter, first place in the Canada West when it comes to assists per set at 10.29, but right in behind at number 2 is Max Elgert at 10.21 assists per set. Here's Jackson Howe, his twin sister Hillary Howe winning the Canada West Championship, as we mentioned just a few moments ago, as the Spartans beat the Pandas in 5 sets. It was a thriller here at the LEC, energizing the crowd even more. Here's Jesse Elser, redeeming himself from just a few moments ago, misplaying the ball off of a serve. Picks up a kill here for TWU.
Great pull from the pipe. That is one of the toughest shots for the Alberta Golden Bears to stop, and Trinity will use that throughout the match, I'm sure.
Jackson Howe, the server, picked up by Holborn. And the block goes up, although play is called, and it's going to be a Spartans point as the Golden Bears are called on the net.
A little bit tight on the set there, but you can see there is no backing off from the Alberta hitters. They are going to take big swings at that ball and try to get the kill. A little bit out of system there.
Big George Holborn at 6'9". He's up at the net for Alberta, and he'll be approaching the net here. Elgert, though, setting the left side, and this will go down the line and out of bounds. And a point for TWU as Jordan Canham is off the mark.
Just missing the sideline by a little bit. Like that he's swinging early in this match, though.
Jackson Howe, a guy who will blow bubbles with his bubble gum as he serves. Not this time, though. He gets an ace. George Holborn handcuffed as that ball comes across. Brock Davidoff up out of his seat, and he's standing right at the edge of the court, now sharing some direction with Holborn. Davidoff, his first season as coach, taking over from Terry Daniluk. Elgert, left side swing, picked up by Lepke. Epp, now to the back is Kern. Jacob Kern, the pride of Edmonton, Alberta. Diving forward is Jackson Howe. Now to the back is Kern. He had a touch just moments ago, comes out of the back once again, and this time powers it across. The Spartans up by 4.
That's definitely what the Spartans are looking for. Quick transition, back row ball to Kern, and he puts it away.
First time out called with a 4-point differential. We are live from the Langley Event Center, live on Canada West TV, and we have opened up that inbox once again, CanadaWestTV@gmail.com. Send us a note and we'll try and read that out during the broadcast. Let us know where you're watching from, which team you're cheering for, or like if you're watching the women's match, if you want to send a old photo of Ron Pike as well, we'll take some of those. Former men's volleyball coach as well. And Ron, you were talking about it earlier with me, some history between the Spartans and the Golden Bears when you were the coach.
Wow, this history goes a long way back, and when I was coaching, we wanted to emulate the Bears. A fantastic program, and I can tell you I was not on the right side of a lot of games versus the Bears during my career. Fortunately, we had a couple of really big ones that people will remember, but again, 2 very storied programs going at it tonight.
It's the Bears and the Spartans. Jackson Howe continuing to serve. This ball sent up. Elgert making the set. And the right side swing, and it's the Bears who will score first out of that break in the action. Jackson Kennedy picking up the kill.
Really good use of the block by Kennedy there, reaching high, cutting the ball back cross court, scoring a point inside the Spartans line.
And expect to hear that name, Jackson Kennedy, a lot tonight. Named a Canada West first-team All-Star alongside Max Elgert, Derek Epp, and Eric Lepke. So lots of talent out there on the court for this Canada West final. And the perfect spot is Kennedy. Now a cross-court swing and a kill for Braden Friesen.
Friesen is one of the players in Canada West that has an extremely live arm, and you could see it there. He's able to power that ball through the block.
Back-to-back points for the Bears out of that Brock Davidoff timeout. Although this will go out for a serve error. Terry Daniluk, though, still involved. He's now the general manager for the Alberta Golden Bears. And was it Daniluk who you were going against back in that Spartans and Golden Bears rivalry?
Oh, it was for sure one of the definite greats of all time, Terry Daniluk. A few of them are retiring now. A little bit of a shout out to Garth Pischke, the Manitoba coach as well, and this is his last season. Definitely could lay claim to the best coach of all time here.
And it could be the Manitoba Bisons playing the winner of this match very well. We'll see how the rankings shape up. Unbelievable play as Derek Epp, the center, launching forward to play that ball off the Colton Lowen dig. But it's the Bears who come away with the point. Braden Friesen getting up there once again, and the sophomore from Swift Current picks up the kill.
Great job on both sides. What a pickup there by Lowen. But you can see these two teams have come to play. They are trading punches early on here. Friesen finishing that one off for the Bears.
The Spartans, the #1 team in the country. The Bears right behind at #2. The winner of this match will be seated higher at that national tournament hosted by the University of Manitoba next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Bears picking up a point here. Billy Johnstone out of the middle at 6'6", sends it back over to the Trinity Western side.
Johnson, a really explosive jumper, able to get up on that ball really quickly. A little bit of an overpass by the Spartans there.
Johnstone from New Zealand, so some international flavor. The Spartans, no international players on their roster. Lepke, big push over to Kern, big swing. Right side attack, the block going up, and where does this land? Inside Alberta's court. Two blockers up, and the Spartans come away with the point.
Again, that is just power on power. Trinity knew where that ball was going. Alberta didn't back down. The Trinity block prevailed on that one.
Michael Sumner starting libero for Alberta, setting up in the serve receive. His 5th and final year. There is Eric Lepke. He is moving on at the end of the season to go play professionally. Lepke picks up this ball. And out of the back row, there's the king of aces, getting the job done on offense. Canada West Player of the Year.
Lepke is unbelievably dangerous from the pipe there. Epp puts a nice ball up. Lepke able to squeeze it through the block there.
Friesen and Johnstone, no chance there as they try to put up the block. Here is Lepke. Let's see if he picks up an ace. Sends this one hard over. Elgert able to get there and pass this ball up. Right side attack goes over top of the block. Colton Lowen tracks this down near the basketball baseline. Sending this over. Goes into the mesh, however, as Jesse Elster was nearby. And the Bears will score, and that's it for Lepke serving.
Lowen trying to do a little too much with that ball. Would have liked to seen it up in the middle. At least let the Spartans continue the play. Unfortunately, it found its way into the net.
Jordan Canham now, second year from Ontario. Colton Lowen in his serve receive with Jesse Elster to his left and Lepke to his right. Elster targeted once again off of the serve. Here's Pierzashenko. Left side attack with two blockers up, Ashenko and Kern. Set to the similar side, but three blockers up. Last touch off of the Spartans, so the Bears will score.
Again, these two teams are just ready to trade punches early on before they settle in. Another great shot by Alberta through the block.
One timeout used so far. That was when Alberta was trailing by 4 points at 6 serving 2 for Trinity Western. Now the Bears within one. Elser. Right side attack by Kern. We've seen him come out of the back this time from the front row. Absolutely gets on top of it.
Elser's started that play off with a fantastic pass. Allows Spartans to stay in system. Kern one-on-one, able to bury that ball down the line.
Now here's Pierzashenko to serve, and we have seen him subbed out in recent matches to bring in somebody such as Isaiah Olford or Brody Hofer in his place, as Ashenko has struggled at times. Gets the ball across this time, goes back onto the Spartan side. Elser unable to put it away. And last touch off of this Spartan, so the Bears able to come away with that one. And just one serve on this go-around for Ashenko.
Great read there by Sumner. Came all the way across the court to pick that ball up. Killed by the Bears.
10 minutes after 10 o'clock local time, 11:10 if you're watching in Edmonton. Thank you so much for joining us. This match delayed as the women's match went to 5 sets earlier on, in which the Spartans won in 5 sets to become the back-to-back Canada West champions. Trinity Western playing in that Canada West final last year against the Brandon Bobcats, one of their top rivals, if not the top rival. It was the Bobcats, though, winning in that one in 5 sets. Jacob Kern sending this into the mesh.
Both teams feeling it out a little bit here. A few missed serves, maybe a little bit of nerves, but definitely like that both teams are serving hard from the baseline, trying to keep the other team out of rhythm.
I can see a few emails coming into the inbox, so we'll get to that in just a moment. As Lepke watches this go out of bounds. So Eric actually sending us a note even before this match started saying, well, yes, the Bobcats are out, so hopping on the bandwagon, let's go Spartans. And there's a whole list of people here. Eric, Dante, Bert, Jack, Camden, Johanna, Ricky, Jeff, Ryan, Michelle, Bryce, Brady. I'll catch my breath. Thank you so much for joining us. A huge watch party as Jesse Elser sends this ball into the net. And speaking of Elser as well, Ron, you mentioned it right off the top that we can expect him to get targeted off of these Bears serves.
He is, but I really like Elser. He is a gamer, he's a volleyball player, and he will rise to the challenge just like he did last weekend against Brandon.
2 Elsers on the Spartans roster. Matthias Elser, who is yet to see the floor tonight, named to that all-rookie team in the Canada West. Expect to see him to come in and serve at some point in this match. There's Lepke going cross-court, picking up the kill. The Spartans ahead by 2.
Little miscues on both sides there, allowing the Spartans to get the ball back in system again. Ball quickly out to Lepke one-on-one. He's not going to be beaten much on that.
Jackson Howe for another go-around serving. Goes straight to the libero on this serve, and then getting on top of that one is Big George.
Really like that from Max. Make sure that they've got the middle established. A lot of balls have been out of system, having to go wide to the outside. Get an opportunity there. Big George makes no mistake putting that ball to the ground.
1-point deficit for the Bears. Epp out of the back is Jesse Elster. All kinds of power, and that goes off the block and out of bounds. Point for Trinity Western.
Really good shot by Trinity. Like that Holborn was able to get a hand on that, though. Shows they're starting to watch for that pipe ball a little bit. Trinity's going to have to mix it up along the net.
Setter to the back row. Here is Derek Epp, who has experience with the Canadian national team. Same with Eric Lepke. Number 1 in assists per set in the Canada West. Sending the ball over. It's mishandled by the Bears, who only got 2 touches on it, but Big George getting up there. The block for the Bears, scoring the point.
Maybe a little bit behind Kern, one of those ones that's a tough one. You think you're going to hit it. Should I take it and just reset and play the ball back? Hit that ball. Bears block right there for the point.
Colton Lowen and the Spartans set up in the serve receive. Holborn sends this directly to Lowen, and there's a quick one by Yashenko, looking to tag some hands. He doesn't. Goes straight out of bounds, and we are tied at 14 all.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Spartans, that set. Probably a little low for Pierce. Tried to jam it back towards position 1, just missing the sideline there.
Brian Fountain and the Bears cheering, and of course, Alicia Fountain sending us a note cheering on the Bears, her hubby from Edmonton, and it's the Spartans, though, who will come away with the points on this go-around.
There goes Lepke again, really strong swing off the block. Again, he's got so many shots there. This one goes off the top and out the baseline.
King of Aces back to serve, setting that record earlier on this year in the regular season for the most aces during conference play. Eric Lepke, number 1 all-time in the Canada West. Lepke, or rather Lowen from outside of the court. And there's Kern from the right side. He has been active so far. The Spartans taking a 2-point lead into the technical timeout.
A couple of things from that play that the Spartans are going to really like. One is that Kern was able to hit that ball, spread the court a little bit, keep him very active. The other one, obviously, is that they keep Lepke at the baseline. Coming back out of this timeout to serve. We'll see how much of a shot he takes at it, whether he gets it in play or whether he's going to try to increase this lead a little bit for the Spartans.
You know, a few things that we've hit on throughout the regular season, Ron. We've talked about the depth that the Spartans have, because we've seen matches where they put in their second or third guy at certain positions, and they're still winning matches. But also we've talked about how Epp has so many options offensively. When you put Lepke in the back row, he can come out of the pipe, as you mentioned. Epp There's a reason why he's number 1 in assists per set in the conference.
Yeah, the Spartans are deadly everywhere. They can play any type of game in system. They're going to have all their weapons available to them, which again, as you mentioned, is front row, back court, anywhere. They're also very strong out of system. They can go wide on you. They've got guys that can go out and bang the ball. Lepke can hit it really hard. Elser's hitting the ball at a very high point. Tough to block, tough to pick up. The other one you mentioned, the Spartans have a lot of people available on the bench as well. You're talking, if something happens and Brody Hofer has to come in, you're talking about a kid that was in the national final last year and won the championship. So the depth on the Spartan bench is something that not a lot of teams in this country have as well.
A lot of success for the Spartans as of late. They have won the national title 3 of the last 4 years, and Lepke sending this one over. The Bears able to react, though the block goes up, and they'll go back to the offense. Second ball from the libero, and the block goes up once again. 1, 2, 3 blockers. Elser, Ashenko, and Kern. And Trinity Western scoring the first point out of that break in the action.
That is a massive wall. I think you're going across there at about 6'8", 6'9". Elser gets his left hand on that ball. Huge triple block and point for the Spartans, keeping Lepke at the baseline for another shot.
Lepke is on his serving run. Takes something off here. Elgert will be setting the power side, and a good swing by Braden Friesen at 6'7".
Great job by Friesen. I like that. A little bit of run by Lepke. Friesen's not backing down, though. Comes right back with a huge kill into the middle of the court.
The pride of Androsson, Alberta, stepping onto the court. This is Hunter Stewart, who will start his approach. This is a service substitution. Start his approach from the basketball baseline. Bears down by 2. Lewin. Here's Zepp over to Ashenko. More connection than a 5G network. They pick up the kill. 3-point lead for Trinity Western.
This is where Trinity is so deadly. A lot of teams can run in system at about 2 meters, maybe back to the attack line. Trinity can run at the attack line, maybe even a little bit back. You can see they were able to stay in system, run their middle attack. Great connection between Epp and Ashenko, put that ball to the ground.
And we brought up his name moments ago. Here is Brody Hofer in his second season. He already has 1 national title, but this service substitution, he puts that ball into the net. And you can see he came in for Pierce Ashenko, who did serve on the first go-around, but was pulled out here for Hofer to serve.
That is a rare miss by Hofer. I've watched him for a lot of years, and he has one of the best hand-on-ball contacts that I've ever seen. I'm sure as the match continues, he'll be a little bit better.
Well, back-to-back serve errors, but earlier on in the playoffs, Hofer, of course, was recovering from that hand injury, and he was actually brought into the match as a service substitution earlier on in the playoffs. And when he was going to play the ball defensively, he'd keep that one arm down, that injured hand, and he'd play defensively with just one good arm. Now, it never came to a point where he actually had to play the ball defensively, but just the fact that Coach Ben Josephson put him in, even with an injury.
Unbelievable confidence there.
Here's Matthias Elser, one of the top rookies in the Canada West, and he goes out of bounds. So the service substitutions for Coach Josephson not going according to plan.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a tough miss. Matthias has struggled a little bit last weekend against Brandon as well, but I'm sure he'll be able to pick it up. They're going to count on him at the end. He's got to shake it off, come back next time, get that ball into the court, maybe find a little bit of rhythm for himself.
Brian Fountain now in. You know, his wife watching online, cheering from Edmonton. Colton Lowen in this serve receive with Lepke to his left. Jacob Kern riding the back line, and this ball sails 2 feet too far. And Kathy Howe sending us a note saying a great win for Hillary Howe and the Spartans women's team earlier on. Now cheering for her twin brother Jackson and the men's team, and watching from Drayton Valley, Alberta. So thank you so much, Kathy, the aunt of Hillary and Jackson Howe. We'll add Drayton Valley to the map. There's Jesse Elser going hard into the net. So both Elser boys picking up serve errors just as of late.
Again, you're not going to see the Spartans backing away from the serve when they have a little bit of a lead. They're going to keep pushing, make sure Alberta doesn't find any rhythm here as this set comes to a close.
Here's Zepp. Out of the back is Elser, and he paints the back line.
Definitely a tight shot there. I think the Bears bench thought that was out of bounds. Really close there, but called right on the line.
Here is Jackson Howe, his family cheering in Drayton Valley. Up at the net for the Spartans, Lepke on the left side, Ashenko in the middle, and Epp on the right. This ball goes out of bounds, untouched. So Howe will continue to serve.
You know, the Spartans have a ton of guys from the baseline that can cause you a lot of problems, but over the last few matches, it's actually been Howe that has created the separation and been on a number of serving runs. Very difficult serve to receive. Yeah, he jumps so well from the baseline. You're seeing that ball come down from the net, and it's moving back and forth. Really tough for those passers to pick that up.
So Brock Davidoff using his second timeout. The Spartans getting to this point, they had a tough semifinal just last week, a thriller as well, as they went to the third and deciding match against Brandon. They won on the first night in straight sets. The Brandon Bobcats came back the next night and took it in 5, and then the Spartans winning in the fourth set. And Eric's sending us a note. He has a good question. He's asking, did Trinity Western have a chance if Seth Friesen was healthy for Brandon last weekend? Of course, Seth in his final year of eligibility, unable to go, not cleared.
There is absolutely no doubt Friesen would have changed that match. Whether they would have been able to win it, I don't know. No Grant Wilson, really felt for him last weekend. It's one of the top teams in the country. They're not going to get a chance to go for a national championship. Not a very great system in some people's minds, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Good swing by Pierce. Dashenko dug up by Sumner. And Dashenko only catching a piece of this, so it's the Bears who will come away with this one. It's the Manitoba Bisons who have likely that 8th seed at Nationals. They will be hosting the tournament next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And very well the winner of this match could be playing them in the opening round. 3-point deficit. Let's see how the Bears respond, but it's Eric Lepke going down the line, and no chance.
Unbelievable shot by Lepke. Showed cross court, hits totally cross body, keeping a lot of pace on that ball. No chance for the backcourt defender to pick that one up.
Derek Yep wearing those long sleeves, taking over for Adam Schreimer a couple of seasons ago as the setter goes into the net. But Adam Schreimer, of course, he's back out there as an assistant coach, his first season in that position. Jordan Orr also joining the coaching staff for Trinity Western. A huge bench when it comes to coaching staff, Ron. Did you have that many assistant coaches back in the day?
No, because I had Josephson. That was all I needed.
Jacob Kern is blocked, and the Bears, something to celebrate here as they're back within 2 points. Big George Hoburn looking down court. All 6 Spartans lined up behind the attack line, and now Epp making his way up to the net to set this ball, but it goes nowhere close to him. Lepke with his second contact, and Kern goes over top of the block. Hoburn with his second ball, and the block goes up and it drops in. Ashenko and Lepke. Lowen pushing Lepke, he's so excited. And the Spartans now 1 point away from taking this opening set.
Trinity really dynamic at the net. They're able to get their hands into the Bears' space there and drop that ball right to the ground.
Can Lepke ace finish things off? Yes, indeed. That goes all the way to the second level here at the LEC. Lepke, the Spartans, taking the opening set 25-21. You are watching U Sports Men's Volleyball, the Canada West Championship, live on Canada West TV, presented by Co-op.
Co-op Community Spaces is creating places for everyone. We're funding community projects up to $150,000. Apply online before March 2nd. For more details, visit communityspaces.ca.
From Canada West Rookie of the Year to the conference's Player of the Year, Trinity Western's Eric Lepke has had quite the university career. The fourth-year outside hitter was named Wednesday as the conference's top player. Lepke posted a remarkable .443 hitting percentage, finishing the season as the lone player in the conference above the 400 mark. He also posted the second-best kills per set total in Canada West at 3.89. This season's Rookie of the Year is Thompson Rivers Wolfpack Nemo Benny. The Dutchman drove the offense for TRU, finishing 9th in Canada West in kills per set at 3.23. Seth Friesen has been selected as the conference's Student Athlete Community Service Award winner for a second consecutive season. The standout science student continued to excel on the floor while maintaining his perfect university GPA. Joining Lepke as a winner from Trinity Western is Coach of the Year Ben Josephson. The veteran coach has built a powerhouse on the West Coast and guided his team to a Canada West best 20 wins this season. Josephson and his Spartans have one more Canada West game on the schedule as they host the 2020 Canada West Men's Volleyball Championship game on Saturday, March 7th against the Alberta Golden Bears. The game is set for 8:30 p.m. Pacific and can be seen on Canada West TV, presented by Co-op. Volleyball standout Josh Howitson enjoyed tremendous individual and team success at Trinity Western University from 2003 through 2007. The setter earned a host of awards and medals during his career, culminating in 2007 when he became Trinity Western's first VLG award winner as the Canadian University Male Athlete of the Year. That season, he led Trinity Western to their first Canada West Conference title after being a key part of the Spartans' national title in 2006, a two-time CIAU Championship Tournament All-Star. Howitson has a complete set of medals from nationals, having picked up silver in 2005 and bronze in 2007. A Victoria native, Howitson went on to play internationally for Canada, including at the 2010 World Championships. He also played professionally in France, Spain, Switzerland, and Turkey.
Welcome back to the action here at the Langley Event Center. Tim James and Ron Pike with the call. Yes, former Spartans men's volleyball coach. And Ron, we're getting more and more emails coming into our inbox and even some alumni watching as well.
Man, we have some old school guys coming out of the woodwork here. Got an old friend of mine, Brian Penner. Before there was Big George, there was Big Dave, and Big Dave's watching from up in Huntsville, Ontario. Two guys out of Alberta, Jeff Stell, who got the final kill in the 06 championship game, and also Tony Skoltecki, an old school guy from University of Alberta that I had the chance to coach on the junior national team a long while ago. So it's great to see those guys online.
This is just awesome. We take pride in being the most connected broadcast in all of the Canada West, so keep those emails coming, CanadaWestTV@gmail.com, or use the hashtag on Instagram or Twitter, WinTheWest. Hashtag WinTheWest. We're back to the action here. There's the set and the fake by Yashenko. Lepke coming through and picking up the first kill for the Spartans in this second set.
Good job by Elser to get the ball to the net. Allow the Spartans to run in system. You could see Lepke come inside a little bit there, try to throw off the block and destabilize them a bit. Got a good chip off the block, out of bounds.
Derek Epp, the setter in the back row, sends this across. Elgert. And there's a back row swing. I believe Shenko got up there and blocked that one. Now Lepke over to Epp. As the ball is slowly worked down all the way from the near side to the far side, and Kern picks up the kill. Last touch off of the Bears.
As you mentioned before, Spartans have so many weapons there available to Epp. He's able to move the ball in and out. That time again back to Kern, keeping every option open along the net.
Derek Epp in his third season at 6'7", has the height advantage against Max Elgert at 6'4". And Hobart is blocked in the middle, so Yashenko getting his hands on the ball early on here in the second.
Looks like Spartans were on the net there, so the ball's going back to the Bears. Like that Elgert in that opportunity did set the ball to the middle. Got to make sure they keep that as an option.
Jackson Kennedy now. A relatively shallow serve receive with Colton Lowen in the middle, but he'll go into the net.
Tough break for the Bears there. It would have been nice to get on a bit of a roll, but they're passing a little bit better now, so hopefully they can stay in rhythm here.
With Eric Lepke going back to serve, Burke Wilson sending us a note saying, I'm friends with the guy who blocked Eric Lepke in high school, hashtag not a big deal. So there's that connection. Burke, thank you so much for joining us. And Lepke, look at that power, right back onto the Spartan side after one contact for the Bears. Here's Yashenko, gets on top of that ball. They're cheering in Banff, Alberta. The Spartans leading the Bears 4-2.
My goodness, what a connection there. And Pierce Yashenko looks like he took that one right at the tee line. That is a big man hitting a big ball there.
Lepke will continue to serve, and a deep serve receive here. Quite the contrast from what we saw with the Spartan serve receive just moments ago, but Lepke sends this one into the mesh. And the Elser clan joining in and watching the broadcast. Watching from Lethbridge right now. We get this note from Aaron Elser. Watching with a few of the Canucks 17 boys. Huge shout out to our coach, Jace Richards, for letting us stay up late to watch this game. Yeah, it's approaching 11:30 in Alberta right now. There's the fake by Yashenko. Unbelievable Jacob Kern from the right side.
What an absolute amazing set by Epp there. Able to look at the net, jump up, extend. He set that about 2 feet over. Nothing was stopping that one.
No block there for the Bears. They bid on the fake. Schenko will go back to serve, so take note, not being subbed out here. We saw Brody Hofer come in the opening set in place of Schenko, but he goes into the net. So maybe somebody like Isaiah Olford or Brody Hofer next time around. We'll see what Coach Ben Josephson does. Still no timeouts used early in this second set. Alberta taking a timeout in the first set at 6-2. After the Golden Bears scored the first 2 points of the set, the Spartans would respond with a 6-point run. And that's Jordan Canham who is charged with a serve error.
Bears still trying to find a bit of rhythm from the baseline. Again, I like that they're still hitting the ball, but at some point here, they're going to have to put those things in, start putting some pressure on the passing of the Spartans.
Now Jacob Kern won a national championship with the Spartans back in 2017 in his hometown of Edmonton, in a matchup that had the Golden Bears taking on the Spartans. Last touch off the Trinity Western here.
Great set by Max there, getting the ball to Johnson in the middle, a little bit off the net, but like that they ran that through the middle. Really good to establish that.
All eyes on Braden Friesen. He had 5 kills in the opening set, and he goes into the net. Brock Davidoff standing over the sidelines, arms crossed. Ben Josephson seated on the bench, clipboard in hand. This brings up Jesse Elser. We know he has family watching in Lethbridge right now. Elser from Calgary goes into the net. Elser, a graduate of Dr. E.P. Scarlett. On the women's side, Nationals being held in Calgary next week, but the Spartans men will be going out to Winnipeg with the University of Manitoba playing host to that tournament. You can see the noise picking up here. This is the tougher of the two sides for Alberta to serve from. The 300 section looking good for the Spartans. That's Jackson Howe taking the swing out of the middle.
Really good job by the Spartans. The Bears had to put one in there. They've missed a couple in a row, wanted to get that in, but the Spartans again able to pass that right to the net and get a kill off the set from Epp.
Jackson Howe in his 3rd year of eligibility. You get 5 to play at the U Sports level. Sends this ball across. Elgert pushes this one over, a roll shot dropping into Jesse Elser. Out of the back is Jacob Kern. All kinds of power. That would get a photo radar ticket on the white mud. Point for Trinity Western. Jackson Howe will continue to serve. Enjoyed that one?
That was awesome.
I spent a few years in Alberta. I'm the former play-by-play broadcaster for the Golden Bears, 2010 to 2012. But getting on top of this one and changing the momentum here is Jackson Kennedy.
What a shot by Kennedy. He challenged that block straight up and hammered that ball right into the middle of the court.
2-point deficit for the Bears. Middle attack by Schenko. This will be tight to the net. Schenko going up. He gets his hands in the way. Elgert. Now a right side swing. No touch by the Spartans. And Trinity Western will score.
Really smart play by the Bears there. They were in a bit of trouble. Push the ball off the block. Get it back to their side. Allow them to reset and take a swing. Unfortunately, a little bit out of bounds.
Center once again to the back row. And Jerry and Sandra sending us a note saying they're staying up late with daylight saving time. And they're watching in Winkler, Manitoba to cheer on Alberta and son-in-law Brian Frown. So thank you so much for joining us. Right side swing, and the Bears give them something to cheer about in Winkler, Manitoba.
Looks like the Bears are starting to lean a little bit on Kennedy, and he's not disappointing at all. That was a great shot cross court for the kill.
Jackson Kennedy, 6'7", 230 pounds. Serve error after serve error to start off this second set. We're on a different pace to this second set compared to the first.
Again, a little bit frustrating for the Bears. They really want to get some pressure on the Spartans, and if they're not putting the ball in play, obviously that's tough to do.
Lisa Plocht is sending us a note saying, what an exciting first set, cheering for the Spartans from Kelowna. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. We'll add Kelowna to the map in the BC interior. If you're not familiar, going down the line, Epp could only catch a piece of it, and the Bears right back in control, but let's see if they can get this ball over. No more serve errors for the visiting side. Colton Lowen setting up in the serve receive. Lepke to his right, Elser to his left. Here's Hoburn. Out of the back is Lepke. And it looked like hesitation there as he was just hanging in the air and eventually makes contact.
Great shot by Lepke there. A little bit of missed timing, but Lepke found a way to get that ball to the ground.
He's going up against Billy Johnstone at 6'6" out of the middle on the Alberta side. Here is Zashenko, so he's staying in to serve. Gets the ball across, taking the libero down with him. And Depp has that ball shank off of him and go over to near row number 1 at the LEC. Billy Johnstone picking up the kill.
Great pass by the libero there, allowing Billy to get in the air and hammer that ball to the ground.
The noise picking up once again. Jordan Canham trying to remain focused from behind the service line. Goes to Jesse Elser. Out of the back is Lepke. On to the Trinity Western side once again. Lowen, Epp, Jackson Howe looking for the finish, and yes, they'll get it. Lepke out of the back row. Howe out of the middle. And the Spartans up by 3.
I think that's the first time we've heard Howe's name at the front, and they can get him going. It's going to make it a lot easier on the Spartans as this match progresses.
Jackson Howe coming into tonight with 38 kills. He's played in all 18 sets for the Spartans coming into tonight. Jacob Kern charged with a serve error. Kern with just 3 aces so far in the playoffs through 5 matches, 12 serve errors. Braden Friesen, graduate of Swift Current Composite in Saskatchewan. He goes into the mesh. And we have an email here from Dallas with the subject Terry Daniluk shoes, saying shout out to all the Spartans and Golden Bears who battle in the 03-05 and 11-14. Also shouts to Terry D with the Wild Asics Tiger hookups since '86.
Dallas Sunius, one of the legends with the Golden Bears back in that era. Huge jump, fantastic player. It's good to hear from him tonight.
And you can see Jacob Kern once again. He has been involved coming out of the back. 2 blockers up, goes down the line, and that whizzes by Michael Sumner, the libero, wearing green for the Bears. Deep serve receive, giving some respect to Jesse Elser, who can surely power this ball across. Catches some of the tape, so it's slowed up. Elgert setting to the middle. Jackson Howe getting his hands up to block in the middle. Elgert now will set to the left side. This goes cross court, and Lepke trying to get out of the way like a game of dodgeball, and it goes untouched, so Lepke, it pays off, and the Spartans with a 5-point lead going into the technical.
Yeah, they're trading punches a little bit here. Wondering if they're looking for a touch here.
Yeah, the Golden Bears initially didn't want to break and go into that huddle. Brock Davidoff also waiting to see if there would be a change of mind, but the top ref saying there's no question here. That was a point. 5-point lead for Trinity.
Yeah, it looked like there was something at the net. I think the Golden Bears may have thought that Epp was under the net. There was a bit of a collision, but 2 players can land on that center line. Sometimes they do touch each other, but the referee, the down referee in this case, felt there was no violation. Point to the Spartans.
Another email in, and this is a funny one here, Ron Pike. You're in the subject, and it's Peter Rashenko, of course, Pierce Rashenko's father, sending us a note saying, sounds and knows more than Kern or me. And of course, he's talking about back on senior night. We had Jacob Kern's dad and Pierce Rashenko's dad, who just sent us a note, as the color commentators, the special guests for the broadcast. Ron, you are sounding great. Thank you so much for joining us here on the championship. But you know what? Give yourself some credit to the father of Pierce Rashenko, Peter Rashenko. You did a great job as well. We were talking about this earlier on as well. I did not know that Pierce was such a talented swimmer, but you learn more when you bring the dads into the broadcast on senior night. You can learn these little gems.
I can just imagine at that height he had no problem pulling the water and moving quickly through it.
Out of the break in the action, trying a center dump is Elgert. Here's Lepke winding up, couldn't get through. Jackson Howe now passing the ball. Here's Lepke once again. He's able to work it through. 1, 2, 3 blockers up for Alberta, but no problem for Mr. Lepke.
Really smart on Lepke's part. Knew he was in a bit of trouble. Pushed the ball back to make sure the Spartans could keep it on their side. Reset, able to find the cross-court ball against a big 3-man block.
Big congratulations going out to the Montreal Carabin, as Mel sending us a note. Melvin Polo saying, we just won the RSEQ conference and watching for future opponents. late in Montreal as well. Absolutely. It's into the 1 o'clock hour out there. Thank you so much for staying up, and congratulations to the Montreal Carabin. Of course, Nationals next week in Manitoba.
Looks like Alberta is trying to find a little bit of a mix here. Brought in a new sub, unfortunately missed the sideline there. Brock's going to call a timeout, try to settle things down, try to figure out a little bit of what's going on, get back, reset, and then come back at the Spartans. But in this case, the Spartans are doing exactly what they want. They want to be able to create a bit of a lead. They've got a 7-point gap here. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Alberta because they're going to be serving as hard as they can, believing that even when the Bears get the ball back, they're going to be able to side out this ball and keep the pressure on the Bears.
And with that note from Montreal, we should add the Montreal Carabin third right now in U Sports when it comes to the rankings. Trinity Western number 1, Alberta 2, Montreal 3, Queens number 4. And of course, the winner of this match will be seated higher at the national championship. So if the Spartans were to win, let's say that happens, they'd likely be finishing number 1 overall, and they'd likely be playing number 8, the Manitoba Bison. So taking on the home team in the opening round. We were talking about this, Ron, on the women's side, where the Spartans, who are likely going to be finishing number 1, will be taking on the host Calgary Dinos, and maybe a tough matchup. But on the men's side, maybe the Bisons won't put up as much of a fight, even though they're the home team.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know as much about the Bisons. I sure wouldn't underestimate Garth Pischke in any way. But I just know that the Dinos on the women's side are going to be a really tough out for the Spartans in that first round of nationals.
Jesse Elser is blocked as Carter McIntyre getting up there alongside Billy Johnstone. Point for the Bears. And once again, we're seeing Hunter Stewart subbed in, a service substitution. Let's see if he can make it count. 12 serving 18. The visiting side trying to build some momentum in hostile territory. It's an electric crowd here at the LEC. Lepke handles this ball in his final match here at the LEC. Unfortunately, the block getting up for him. The Bears pick up the point.
Great job by the Bears, keeping their eyes open, patience. You know, Lepke's got a lot of shots. They were right on top of that one, able to put it down for the point.
Eric Lepke will be off to play professionally next season. Pierce Sashenko in his 5th and final year. Jacob Kern as well. Here's Lepke using the hands to score.
Big shot for Lepke off the hands, out the baseline. Another point for the Spartans.
Substitutions on the Bears side, so stepping back on the floor, Billy Johnstone, that rookie middle at 6'6". Jackson Howe, the server. Elgert unable to play the ball, but Epp going up to make a swing, and Hoburn looks like he was staring him down afterwards. Point for the Bears.
Good job by Hoburn to read that. Epp is tricky. You don't know if he's going to put that ball over, if he's going to set it. Earlier in the match, he set that one, and Spartan's got a big kill. This time he chooses to hit it. Hoburn right there for the block.
Hoburn reminding me of Spencer Leisky if you're watching the Bears back in the 2010-2011 season. Pride of Lacombe, Alberta, but take a look at Jacob Kern, the pride of Edmonton, Alberta, once again coming out of the back, and that has been a reliable go-to for the Spartans. Kern jumping before that 3-meter line.
Yeah, Epp making sure that he reminds the Bears that Kern is still there, and Kern does a really good job keeping that ball in play. Another kill for the Spartans.
Epp sending it over lightly. This one will be tight, and reaching was Pierce Sashenko, who got his mitts on it. Now Hoburn with a big swing. Quick reaction by Lowen and Lepke, with Elster sending it over on third contact. Now Hoburn once again hammering that at Lowen.
Really good job by Big George, sticking with it, hitting until he finally finds the solution, gets the kill off the block.
And we have some viewers watching right now in Australia, Fernvale, Queensland, Australia to be exact, cheering on the Golden Bears, saying you can do it, from Jim and Coralie Benzie. So thank you so much for joining us, and I can't even imagine what time it is right now. It's late Saturday night here. In parts of Canada, it's also Sunday morning, so thank you so much for joining us all the way from Queensland, Australia. Eric Lepke chatting to his father before this match, saying how much Lepke loves to play beach volleyball as well. Some people don't realize that. Lepke going up, catching the tape as this ball comes over, and Jacob Kern gets on top of it, eating up that party ball, and a point for Trinity Western.
Great job by the Spartans there again. They are going to be relentless from that baseline. As soon as they have a gap in the score, you can see it here. Again, another big kill for them off the missed pass by the Bears.
So Brock Davidoff taking his first time out at 18-11. The second one here at 22-15. So no more timeouts. The Spartans celebrating, and here is Ryan Hofer walking by. He's just won the conference championship, head coach of the Spartans women's volleyball team. He looks to be in a good mood, and of course he's watching Brody Hofer out there, his son. And Hofer has seen limited action here, and I believe it was just the one play, the one serve that Hofer had sent into the net, but otherwise we have yet to see more of him tonight.
Yeah, Brody broke his thumb earlier in this season, put him out of commission for a little while. He's back able to play, but volleyball is such a rhythm sport. Spartans are doing well with Elster on the court. They're going to keep that momentum going, but it sure is nice to know you've got a guy like Brody coming off the bench if you need him.
Because there were times during the regular season where you'd see, say, Brody Hofer would start on the Friday, Jesse Elster would start on the Saturday, and those two guys would just go back and forth, but throughout the playoffs here, it has been Jesse Elster, and Brody Hofer still working through that injury, still some tape there on his left hand. Let's see how the Spartans respond out of this timeout by Brock Davidoff, and it's a coach's timeout. Brock seated on the bench right now. Coach Josephson standing up near where his players are collected. The far back right portion of the gym. George Hoburn now. The reason I call him Big George, Ian Reed, of course, from the U of A. That was the nickname he gave him. It's always a fun time working with Ian Reed doing color commentary, and I get to do play-by-play. That was the scenario back in 2017 when I was called the national final between these teams. Left side attack and a point for Braden Friesen.
There you go, whole play set up by Big George there. Serves the ball in, makes a great dig on the cross-court ball there. Bears able to get the attack in, score another point. George back to the service line.
Hoburn goes to Lowen. The fake by Yashenko, two blockers still up as Kern was leaping at that one. And that goes off the block and out. Point for the Bears, and Hoburn now going on a service run. So a good timeout call by Brock Davidoff, as just moments ago it was 22-15, now it's 22-18. Hoburn goes to Elser, and somehow making the set was Epp, and then leaping back is Lowen. The Spartans still in this rally. The Bears going to the offense and finishing this one off. Billy Johnstone with the kill.
This is big for the Bears. They're finally able to get a little bit into system there, and you can see how dangerous they're going to be if they can get Johnson going here. Great kill into the middle of the court. Spartans have to call a timeout.
4 straight points for the Golden Bears. Hoburn will be continuing to serve. Tim James and Ron Pike with the call. So glad you are watching right now on Canada West TV, the conference championship, as we get closer and closer to 11 o'clock local time. So I know many of you staying up past your bedtime to join us, and we appreciate you doing so, or even watching in Australia. I imagine it's maybe more of a comfortable time down there as well. I'd have to double check what the time is in Queensland. We have another email in here. Monica sending us a note saying, "Go Spartans, watching from Saskatoon." A special shout out to Derek Epp from his grandparents, Ellen and Renata, and great aunts Rita and Monica. So that's just great. Lots of family watching, and Epp, his hometown of Saskatoon. Spartans could be conference champions when all is said and done. We'll see if that is the case, and we'll see if there is reason to celebrate in Saskatoon. A coach's timeout for Ben Josephson as that serve goes long.
Yeah, just a little bit long from George there. He had a really good run though. It's got Alberta some momentum. Let's see if they can build off it.
Brody Hofer back into serve. Let's see if he can redeem himself after going into the mesh the first time around. Here is this sophomore. Hofer, a graduate of Langley Christian, playing for his hometown school. Powerful serve. Backing up Sumner. A right side attack, and that will be it, unfortunately, for Hofer and the Spartans. Point for the Bears.
Yeah, it looks like we had a bit of a net touch. Not quite sure who it was. The down ref called that.
So Yashenko and Hofer will switch spots once again. And Ushenko will head off with Lowen taking his spot in the serve receive. Brian Fountain now to put this ball back in play. He's got lots of family watching online right now. And once again, the noise picking up. The drums are banging. The 300 section trying to throw off Fountain. He sends this ball over to the other number 3, Elser, and then Jackson Howe. Up he goes, down goes the ball, and Trinity Western within 1 point of taking this set.
We haven't heard much from Howe up there, but boy, did he ever give that one a good hit. Right on the attack line. Nothing going to stop that.
Matthias Elser now coming in. Jordan Schnitzer also seeing some time. He's up at the front right now. Double sub for Trinity Western. Colton Lowen being called over by Coach Josephson just momentarily, getting some instruction. Here's Matthias Elser. But he goes into the net. Elser, his second serve error of the night, and that is it. Schnitzer and Elser both checking off, and Epp and Kern back into this one.
Little tough one for Coach Ben there. Doing those subs, he would have really liked to see that ball go in. So his blocking sub could have done something there. Unfortunately, into the middle of the net, side out to Alberta.
Elser, Epp with the dump, but it was picked up there, and then a couple of touches. The Spartans will score.
Good call by the referee there. He almost snuck that one through. It was a very fast play, but caught him in the end.
25-21 the final in the second set. It is now must-win territory for the Golden Bears. Will they respond? You are watching U Sports Men's Volleyball, the Canada West Championship, live on Canada West TV, presented by Co-op.
Concluded his stellar varsity volleyball career at the University of Saskatchewan in the best way possible by scoring the winning point for the Huskies in the 2004 CIS final. Well, that is a signature moment for the native of Rosthern, Saskatchewan. His 5 seasons with the Huskies were packed with highlights, and his trophy cases filled with awards, particularly from his national championship winning senior season. In 2003-2004, Enns won the BLG award as the top student athlete in Canada. That same season, he was voted Player of the Year for both Canada West and CIS men's volleyball. The Huskies won 3 conference titles during his time with the program, capturing it all in 2000, 2001, and 2004. He was a standout in the classroom as well, being named an academic All-Canadian 4 times, while earning degrees in both science and education.
Co-op Community Spaces is creating places for everyone. We're funding community projects up to $150,000. Apply online before March 2nd. For more details, visit communityspaces.ca.
From Canada West Rookie of the Year to the conference's Player of the Year, Trinity Western's Eric Lepke has had quite the university career. The 4th-year outside hitter was named Wednesday as the conference's top player. Lepke posted a remarkable .443 hitting percentage, finishing the season as the lone player in the conference above the 400 mark. He also posted the second-best kills per set total in Canada West at 3.89. This season's Rookie of the Year is Thompson Rivers Wolfpack Nemo Benny. The Dutchman drove the offense for TRU, finishing 9th in Canada West in kills per set at 3.23. Seth Friesen has been selected as the conference's Student Athlete Community Service Award winner for a 2nd consecutive season. The standout science student continued to excel on the floor while maintaining his perfect university GPA. Joining Lepke as a winner from Trinity Western is Coach of the Year Ben Josephson. The veteran coach has built a powerhouse on the West Coast and guided his team to a Canada West best 20 wins this season. Josephson and his Spartans have one more Canada West game on the schedule as they host the 2020 Canada West Men's Volleyball Championship game on Saturday, March 7th against the Alberta Golden Bears. The game is set for 8:30 p.m. Pacific and can be seen on Canada West TV, presented by Co-op.
It is do or die now for the Alberta Golden Bears, trailing 2-0 here at the LAC, the home of the Trinity Western Spartans. You can see the fans providing that electric atmosphere. Thank you so much for joining us. Tim James and Ron Pike with the call on this Saturday night. And Ron, for the Bears to get back in this one, they've got to get some serves in and make it tough for the Spartans.
Yeah, Brock's got to be happy with how they're playing, except for their play from the baseline. They're losing by 4 points in that set. If they can keep a few more of those in, it's going to put pressure on the Spartans, keep it a little bit tighter, and hopefully the Bears can get a win out of it.
Jesse Elster coming out of the pipe to pick up the first point in this set for Trinity Western. It was a Jackson Howe service error to start things off in the second set. That was the only time the Spartans were behind. They were able to quickly score after that and never gave up the lead, although it was tied early on in that second set. Point for TWU here, so Howe will continue to serve.
Friesen trying to find the edge of the block there, just missed by a little bit, and the ball was out the sideline. Point to the Spartans.
So Michael Sumner setting up in this serve receive. Here comes Howe. This will go to the left of Sumner, picked up by Friesen. Leading his team in kills, and the block goes up. Here's Zashenko with a double flex. Eric Lepke getting up there as well.
Again, another big block for the Spartans. That one went down in a hurry. Howe back to serve for the Spartans.
George Hoburn coming over to talk to the top official. And Ron, I was looking down at the notes. What might this be?
Not totally sure what they were looking for. Coach Brock to the sideline to talk it over.
Yeah, Hoburn and Davidoff in discussion, and that will be that. So Howe will continue to serve. Once again, a shallow serve receive is picked up by Sumner. Friesen unable to get through. Elgert staying off the net. Does this just paint the line as it comes across? No, goes out of bounds. And the Spartans on a roll to start off the third set. And Brock Davidoff touching his face. Disappointment in a must-win set for Alberta, calling a timeout at 4-0 for Trinity Western.
Up to this point, the Bears have really been leaning on their left side players, Johnston and Friesen. They really need to get Canham into this game. He's been swinging at the ball, hasn't had a ton of opportunities, but for the Bears to be successful, that ball's got to be across the full net. Canham really needs to start getting into this game and getting some kills for the Bears.
Jacob Kern, of course, a member of the Trinity Western Spartans, but his brother Cam Kern, who is his center at 6'4", he is on Alberta's side. You won't see him tonight, but expect to see him throughout the years at the U of A. And of course, the U of A is the hometown school, or one of two hometown schools for the Kern family. Jackson Howe, will he be celebrating just like his twin sister was earlier on tonight? The Spartans women, the conference champions, as they head into nationals next week in Calgary. Hoburn with the tip, Lepke sends it up high, and now over to the right side is Kern. Elgert, Friesen, did he catch any hands? Yes, last touch off of the Spartans, and a point for Alberta, their first one of the third set.
Good job by Friesen there to catch that block, get the side out, get it back. Last set we had Big George go on a bit of a run. Maybe he can do it again here.
Hoburn going to Lowen. And Ashenko sending this one around. So Colton Lowen picking up the first touch, and of course he's taken over for Carter Bergen, one of the graduating players from last year. And Bergen, who did he take over for? Tyler Kozlowski. And Tyler sending us a note right now saying, hey Tim, hey Ron, watching from Lunenburg, Germany. And Ron, I'm reminiscing on the MEI preseason camp with you and some of the Trinity Western players back in 2009. That's where my love for volleyball truly started. Tyler, thank you so much for that note.
I still remember those days and remember Tyler coming out to the gym. What a joy that guy was to coach. Bundle of energy, so much fun to be on the court with, loved by teammates and coaches alike.
See, that's something I've appreciated from Tyler and also Carter Bergen more recently, that those are two liberos who bring so much energy. But speaking of energy, here's Max Elgert giving the Bears something to cheer about. But it's that libero position, Ron, that can really drive the team. And from Colton Lowen, it's no knock against him. I think he's still coming into his role here. But from Tyler and Carter, the previous liberos, they were really able to get their team energized and played with so much passion.
Yeah, Colton's right in that line, maybe a little younger than we saw those two at their prime. He's right in there. He's going to become that within the next couple of years for the Spartans, no doubt.
But after an impact play by Elgert, it's a serve into the net once again, serving the story for the Golden Bears as they have struggled tonight. And it's now 6 serving 3 with a king of aces going back for Trinity Western in his final match here at the LEC. Lepke takes something off the serve. It's not just power for the king of aces.
Great little adjust there by Lepke, a little off speed. Golden Bears are sitting back ready for that big serve. Catches them a little bit off guard.
Lepke. Here's Sashenko and Jacob Kern, the two Spartans getting up there. 1 timeout remaining for Brock Davidoff. No, make that no timeouts remaining as he takes his second here early on.
Yeah, the gap in score again is letting Trinity just unleash from the service line. Really tough on wing hitters to be hitting out of system balls. Very much the game plan for Trinity Western, not so much for Golden Bears. The Golden Bears are going to come back in this. They're really going to have to pass that ball, get it onto the net, hopefully establish a little bit of middle, take a little pressure off their outside guys, because right now it's tough for those guys on the wings.
Another email coming in from Edmonton and Dixie with the last name starting with N, watching from Edmonton. Thankful our coach is letting us stay up late to watch the game. Go Alberta. P.S. Wish us luck in ABA 2 with a smiley face. Dixie, thank you so much for joining us. Claiming to be Alberta's biggest fan. So lots of Bears fans joining us online tonight. Great to have you with us, but you've got to be sending some good vibes the Bears' way. They're trailing by 5 points, and Brock Davidoff has used both of his timeouts. Lepke with the toss, and drops that in as well. Michael Sumner crashing forward, couldn't get there in time, and Lepke again with the off speed.
Again, so tough to pick up Lepke. Is he going to hit it hard? Is he going to hit the off speed? If you're not prepared for the hard shot, you'll get aced by that, and he comes back with a great off speed there.
Another ace. Lepke, and you can't settle him down now with the timeout, so what do?
He is absolutely on fire. He's got all his shots there, and that ball is tremendously difficult to pick up for the Bears.
Lepke now up to 4 aces on the night. He leads his team in that category. Jackson Howe with 1. He's the only other player with an ace for the Spartans. Sumner down to the ground. Elgert with one hand keeps the ball on the Bears side. Bears offense going back to work, this time a left side attack. Here's Lepke, the set, over to Kern, but it's the Bears who come away with it. And you know what, Ron, it seems like sometimes the Bears get these impact plays. Right when you think the Spartans should earn that point, Lepke with a beautiful set there, you think maybe the Spartans are going to come away with it, but the Bears score. They just can't keep the momentum going in those cases.
Yeah, it's tough for them again with the service the way it's going right now, but credit to them. They're still hitting the ball. They're still going after it. They're still making the effort, which is what they have to do to get at these Spartans.
And once again, momentum killed. That ball goes out of bounds. Lowen will step off. So 6 blue shirts out there for TWU. The Spartans ahead by 7 points. This, the conference title matchup. Spartans, Bears, live on Canada West TV. Oshenko sending us over to Sumner. Left side swing, and this lands inside, a point for Jackson Kennedy.
Really nice shot by Kennedy cross court there, not backing down at all, still finding his range there right on that sideline.
And Tyler Kozlowski sending us another note saying Lily, his daughter, also watching and sending us an absolutely cute photo wearing the pink. I'd love to see her in a Spartans blue shirt, but maybe that needs to go all the way to Germany. There's Jackson Howe going to work, and it's going to be a point for the Bears. So Tyler, hello to you, hello to Lily, and thank you so much for joining us. Billy Johnstone. Gisborne, New Zealand. in his rookie season. Sends that to Jesse Elser, mishandles it, sliding his Lepke, and that, I believe, went off the basketball hoop, hanging from the roof here at the LAC. That is way high up, and it's also a different experience playing here compared to when you were coaching at the David E.
Oh, the Eaner points. I can tell you many stories about that and the ball bouncing off the roof. It's basically even for both teams, but I'll tell you, the visiting teams didn't like it very much, and we were very comfortable at home in that gym.
Elser again targeted on the serve, a very, very similar play with Lepke diving back, and the Bears now building some momentum. They've cut this lead down.
Great job by Johnstone from the baseline there, keeping the ball in play, putting pressure on the Trinity receivers. Let's see if he can keep it going here.
Is he going to go back to Elser here? Lepke right in there. And it goes to Elser, but he handles this well and going to work as well, as if he was fired up. He was caught on the serve receive a couple of times. He goes to the offense and makes it count.
Great shot by Elser there, reaching high on that ball, hitting it off the inside blocker and out of bounds.
And you can see George Hoburn, a bit of a missed timing as well, as he was going up initially and then had to go up a second time, but he's got such a reach at 6'9" that he was able to get up and make at least a partial obstruction. Out of the back row, Braden Friesen. The Bears now within 3 points. Can they push, though, with his center going to the back row? This is Max Elgert.
It's exactly what the Bears needed, a good pass off a tough serve, able to run the pipe ball and get the kill. They're right back in it here.
Lepke. And Lepke gets underneath this one, an impressive dig. Jacob Kern with a roll shot, goes off the block. Hoburn looking for an assist, goes over to the left side, and Lepke diving over to his right. Play is blown down, and the Spartans will give up this point. They go into the net. Eric Lepke, though, we've talked about his aces. We've talked about how great he is offensively. But how about those digs?
That is just some unbelievable athleticism to pick up those two balls. A one-handed dig on the first one, just exceptional.
The final chance for the home fans to see Eric Lepke in action here at the LAC. He's putting on a show. This ball goes out of bounds once again. The Bears trying to establish some sort of momentum, but the serving not helping.
Yeah, not helping them at all. They're right in this match. They're going to need another run to catch the Spartans here. They've got to keep that ball in play.
Jesse Elster going into the net. We have an email coming in, Laura from Edmonton, with a note about the Spartans' attire. Well, I want Ron's thoughts on that. We'll get to that in just a moment, though. 11 serving at 13. Let's see if the Bears can go on a run. Well, let's maybe take this chance here. So Laura sends us a note saying she's completely perplexed as to why the Spartans wear such tight shorts. And I never really noticed this, but this was brought up on the broadcast last week as well. Are they that tight? You're the head coach, your former head coach. What are your thoughts?
I do not order the Spartan gear. I have absolutely no idea on that, to be totally honest.
Left side swing for the Bears, and Braden Friesen going to work. So thank you so much for joining us, Laura. Also adding, reluctantly cheering on the Golden Bears since the Brandon Bobcats are out. And Ron, you mentioned it earlier, very tough that the Bobcats unable to qualify for nationals. Two teams, the Bobcats and the Spartans, very deserving of going to that national tournament. Inept trying to get this up on the third contact, but lands out of bounds.
Yeah, and you can't forget to mention UBC in that conversation as well. I mean, 4 of the top teams in the country, 2 of them aren't going. These 2 are. A bit of a tough pill to swallow, but that's Canada West. It is a dogfight every weekend, and it is not easy to get to that tournament.
The UBC Thunderbirds coming close to advancing to this conference final, but being eliminated by the Alberta Golden Bears last week. Unreal out of the back, Jesse Elser, and the Spartans back ahead by 2.
Epp has complete control of this offense right now. As long as they can keep the ball in his hands inside the attack line, he has got this on a string right now. Excellent choice there. Lepke able to kill that ball from the pipe.
Both sets of Epp's grandparents cheering on from Saskatoon right now. He drops this in, almost picks up an ace. Bears going to work from the right side. Epp able to take this ball up. Kern sends this back inside the court, and Lowen between the antennas. Elgert going back over to the right side. The block goes up and out of bounds, so the Bears will score. It's another one of those plays where the Spartans put in a great effort defensively, but just can't score the point. It's the Bears who come away with it. And Ron, this has got to be a time where if you're a Bears fan, you want this momentum to carry on.
It is, and that's a great shot, and it's from Canham on the right side. He's got to get going here. Maybe from the baseline, he can continue to put pressure on the Spartans.
Once again, a service error, and the Spartans taking a 2-point lead into the technical timeout here in the third set. They were up 16-11 in the second and 16-14 back in the first.
As a coach, this is super tough. There's such a fine line in men's volleyball right now between serving that ball with pace and getting it in. If you serve it without pace, you're going to let the Spartans get into a rhythm. And as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the Spartans are deadly in system. But also, you have to keep the ball in play or you're not going to be able to score points. So there's a real tough balance right now. I know it's tough on the Bears. They've got to find that over the next little bit here to keep this set tight, which they're doing right now, and then hopefully be able to kick it over, maybe tie it up, maybe get a bit of a lead, but they have to have that ball in the court.
It's 11:11 local time, 12:11 if you're joining us from Edmonton. Tim James and Ron Pike with the call, and maybe we touched on a good topic moments ago, the Spartans attire, as we have an anonymous texter sending us a note saying, yes, they are way too tight, talking about the Spartan shorts. I don't have much of a comment on that either. I haven't played volleyball at this level. I don't know the advantages or disadvantages to having tight shorts, so I won't go there. But when you look at the two teams, yeah, Alberta looking a little looser.
And nobody wants my comments on fashion, although as Dallas Sunius mentioned earlier, you could go to Terry Daniluk. He is a man of fashion, the Asics shoes, but he also knows how to dress as well, so maybe we can ask Terry after the game.
Sumner able to get under that serve. It was a powerful one coming across as well. Lepke pushing this ball over to Jacob Kern, but the block goes up and this drops in.
That is a big point for Alberta, getting within one of the Spartans right now, gaining a little bit of momentum. Let's see if they can keep it going from the baseline.
With Friesen to serve, he has no aces tonight, but 5 serve errors. The errors have added up for the Bears. He tilts his head back, takes a deep breath, and here is the serve. Powers this one over to Lowen. Here's Zashenko, and that is it for Friesen serving as Zashenko picks up the kill, number 4 on the night.
As I mentioned, that's the tough balance right there. It's so fine. Friesen takes a little bit off of that. Spartans are able to get it right to the net, run the middle quick. Pierce puts that ball down.
As Zashenko rotates to the back row, he is subbed out of this one. Brody Hofer coming in once again. Hofer with such a tough serve, but no aces tonight in that limited action coming in for Zashenko. And once again charged with a serve error. That's now error number 2 from behind the service line for Hofer. So Zashenko checking back into this match. Colton Lowen will take his spot in this serve receive. Billy Johnstone. 1 ace, 1 serve error, make it 2.
That one's tough. Johnstone had got on a run last time, probably looking for a little too much there. Just out the baseline.
This brings up Jacob Kern. His 5th and final season playing, his final match ever at the Langley Events Center. Hammers this one out of bounds.
Even with that 2-point spread, the Spartans are still going for it on the baseline. We'll see if that catches them here, but the Alberta Golden Bears have got to get a bit of a run here to keep that pressure on the Spartans.
Max Elgert in his 4th season, an engineering student at the U of A. All eyes on him here at the LEC. He's got to get this ball in. First step, yes, he does. He goes to Jesse Elser, but Jackson Howe hammers that across, dug up well by Friesen. Left side attack, 3 blockers up. And right before the chairs, Jordan Canham able to get there. Almost crashing into the front row at the LEC. Jesse Elser sends it at a sharp angle and scores.
Really good off-speed shot from Elser there to score that point.
Another email coming in, this one from Brian saying, Spartans fashion, what about the Golden Bears clodhoppers? What's with the shoes? So again, I'm not noticing the tight shorts or the shoes, but there we go. That's what the fans at home are noticing. Thank you so much, Brian. Hoburn with the tip. And there's Jackson. Howe finds open court. As Hoburn was going up with Canham, point for Trinity Western, and once again a reminder that Brock Davidoff has no timeouts to use.
I have no idea how Hal saw that opening, but he knew it was there. Able to tip that ball in. Libero a little too deep for it, not able to recover it.
Ben Josephson racing up and some direction directed at Derek Epp right before that serve came across. Canham, 3 blockers up. How many times have I said 3 blockers up for the Spartans tonight? Here's Lepke going cross down the line. Lepke. Back row ball for Kern. Jordan Canham says no way. Point for the Bears.
Unbelievable action. This is a couple of heavyweights taking big swings at each other. Big block. Alberta able to put that block up and crash on Kern. Drops it in the middle of the court. Point for the Bears.
The Spartan 300 section, you can see they're trying to get everyone to stand up and make some noise here. They can feel a Canada West championship not far off, and Jackson Howe picks up another point.
Really good job. It's going to be important for the Spartans to close out this match. This is what happened in the second night in Alberta earlier in the season. Spartans were up 2-0, had a fairly easy time of it. The Bears kept grinding, staying with it, being relentless, and they were able to win that third, and then obviously the 2 after that. So the Spartans have to be a little bit careful here.
On the move is Sumner. Hoburn pushing this one over. Jesse Elser, an ugly looking swing. And once again, an opportunity. Can the Bears build some momentum here? And I'm even looking down at Billy Johnstone. That hand motion. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. The Bears within 2. All eyes on Big George once again. He goes out of bounds.
It's going to be important over the next couple of the points for those Bears to get that ball in, obviously tightening up as we come to the end of the set.
Spartans ahead in aces in this match, 5-2. Alberta with 20 serve errors, the Spartans with 17. Elgert, the left side swing, nice looking 1-2-3 to finish off the rally. Braden Friesen with a kill.
I can assure you life is so much easier for those wing hitters when the middle's a threat. You could see it there. Nice easy swing, kill the ball to the ground, point to the Bears. And we're keeping it tight here with a 2-point spread.
Brian Fountain, service substitution. Elser mishandles the ball, low and able to get there. This needs to be sent hard. It is sent over. The Bears going to work and pick up the point. Again, the Spartans, great defensive effort, but can't pick up the point. Can the Bears roll with this? And here we go, Spartans coach Ben Josephson using his first timeout.
Important timeout for Ben to settle the troops down again, but credit to Alberta, they're not going away. Friesen's doing a really good job staying in this game. He has not had it easy tonight. He's been seeing out-of-system balls, but he keeps hitting and hitting away. Done a really good job. That last kill was fantastic. Keeps the Bears within 1, puts a lot of pressure on the Spartans as we close out this set.
Friesen leading the way in kills for Alberta with 13. He is hitting .320. And when you look at the Trinity Western side, it's Kern up to 9 kills leading the way for his team, hitting .190. Lepke right in behind at 8. CanadaWestTV@gmail.com if you'd like to send us a note. This one could be ending shortly, so get it in soon. Or use the hashtag WinTheWest on either Instagram or Twitter. We're through the Josephson timeout. Both teams back on the court. Conference championship. That goes out by a foot. Coach's timeout for Ben Josephson. Substitution on the Bears side as Jordan Canham comes back in for Brian Fountain. Credit to Ben Josephson, experience with the Canadian women's national team as the assistant coach. He's been the head coach since 2007. Lepke into the net. 5 national titles, though, for Ben Josephson. Also winning Canada West Coach of the Year. No shortage of honors for Benjo. Lowen, here's Epp with one hand, gets it over to Uschenko. Left side swing with 3 blockers up. Sumner was in there for the coverage. Yep, Ashenko with a swing. Sumner, now a chance for Alberta, middle attack. This goes over to Epp, takes him out to the second. Ball from Lepke, and it's Jacob Kern picks up the point.
That's a big point for Kern. He's been blocked on the last couple. Unbelievable shot, high off the hands and out the baseline.
Can you feel it? Everyone in this building is standing on their feet. The Bears just hanging on here. They need to score this point, and all eyes are on Pierce Ashenko. He has been inconsistent at times from behind the service line, gets this ball across, putting the pressure on the Bears, but it's Jesse Elser, Trinity Western, your 2019-2020 Canada West champions.
Spartans out there celebrating with the 300, or at least a portion of them. Great support from the fans tonight, and the Spartans pull it off 3 straight against a great Golden Bears team.
The Golden Bears, though, will be going to nationals. It's not done yet. Next week, the Spartans, the Bears, the Bisons, all going to nationals. 8 teams competing for the U Sports Championship. It has been an electric night here, Ron. From the women's side, a 5-setter earlier on, and here on the men's side, even though it was the Spartans winning in straight sets, it was just Alberta, as you mentioned, at the start of this set. It was the serving that just couldn't find the rhythm.
As I mentioned before, serving in men's volleyball now, it's such a key component of the game. But by the same token, you don't want to let a team get into rhythm. There's such a fine balance. As you can see from the missed serves, the Spartans had almost as many as the Bears. It just looked like the Bears had some that were a little bit at miss-opportune times. But again, the Spartans were able to keep with their game plan. Get the gap in the game and then just keep punishing them from the baseline. They were able to get the spread they needed, able to stay ahead, get leads in games. And you could see the end result was they're able to beat the Bears 3-0.
And still to come, we have the medal presentations and also the player of the match. And taking a look at it, let's break down some of the numbers. When you're talking about setters, Max Elger, 24 assists on the night, picking up 1 kill. He was up against Derek Epp, who also had 1 kill, but led in assists with 31. Friesen leading the way in kills for Alberta, and in this match with 13. Jacob Kern with 10. Lepke with 8. Anybody who comes to mind for you, Ron, for player of the match? Maybe we'll start with the Alberta side.
Alberta side, either of their wing hitters on the left were fantastic. They did a great job out of system all night, hitting the ball, continually going at it. Full credit to them. On the Spartan side, looking at Lepke again, he always shows up. Fantastic player. Epp had a great night distributing the ball as well.
So Mark Husbands from TWU, Athletic Director Jeff Gamache, both out there for the presentations. And maybe the Trinity Western side, Ron, who stands out for you for player of the match?
Well, Lepke for sure. As I said just before, Lepke did everything tonight, hitting off speed from the baseline, scoring from the baseline. Epp had a great night as well, distributing the ball.
George Hoburn selected on the Bears side, 4 kills on the night, hitting an impressive .571. The block also getting up there. Couple of blocks for the Bears. And what an ovation here from the Spartan faithful, recognizing Eric Lepke, player of the match, and it's very fitting. And Ron, it's sad here as the broadcaster for the Spartans. This is my final match that I get to call with Eric Lepke. It's been a special career here at TWU.
Yeah, I really hope that the Spartan fans and everybody here understand how great a player Lepke is. He is probably the best player that's ever played in this program. He did everything for it. And yeah, I really hope that the Spartan faithful appreciate what they had a chance to witness. Much like the, just to use a hockey analogy, with the Sedins, just to be in the generation that got to watch those guys play, a real treat. Same thing with Eric Lepke.
And we've had some talented players, Nick Del Bianco, Ryan Slater, Blake Shearhorn just over the past few years, but Eric Lepke has definitely been something special. And when it comes to this match, he finished off with 8 kills, hitting .438. But some of the digs as well that Lepke had, he really showed off his expertise and his talent in every possible way tonight.
Yeah, you watch it what he did. He had digs in the backcourt. He's still a target for passing. He's putting the ball to the net. He was blocking tonight. He attacks front row, backcourt. He's a complete player. There's no doubt. And I know we'll wish him well in his future, but man, looking forward to watching him next weekend at the National Championship.
Absolutely. March 13th, 14th, and 15th, the University of Manitoba, the Bisons. One final chance for Garth Pischke to win that national championship. It's a tough test ahead for Garth Pischke, but as you mentioned, he's got so much experience. Do you think he's got something in the bag of tricks to maybe take out the Trinity Western Spartans in that opening round, if that is indeed the matchup?
I have to admit it would be a great story for Garth and the Bisons, but it will be a definite uphill battle to take out the Spartans. And as good as Garth has been over the years, it's not an easy task. Garth is, definitely a legend in this sport. I believe has more wins than probably any collegiate coach in North America, possibly. A ton of championships, was a phenomenal national team player as well, and definitely one of the legends of our sport, and one of the greats of all time. Will be missed, but wishing Garth the best in retirement. He was always very good to me, very good to the Spartans, and fantastic person.
And we have a late email coming in from Michelle Schreimer, the mother of Adam Schreimer, one of the assistant coaches for Trinity Western, saying thank you to the broadcast for truly being the best. And thank you so much for Michelle and all those fans who have been, as you can hear the crowd really getting behind the Spartans here as they're about to be presented the medals. But just from a broadcasting point, on a personal note, thank you so much for those fans like Michelle Schreimer, the Hofers watching in Kelowna, the Lepkes, the Ashenkos, all those fans who have been tuning in throughout the season, because it really makes it something special that I do this, and I do try to bring my best, and I know the whole crew here at the LEC, and Ron, even you tonight, bringing your best as well. We try to bring this, bring you as close as you can to the action, because we know that you want to be here. We know that you want to be watching your kids right here at the LEC, and that's not possible. So we truly do try to bring you the best broadcast. So thank you so much for joining us on these broadcasts, and if all goes according to plan, I'll be back next season, and I hope you will be as well. And Ron, thank you so much for joining us for a couple of broadcasts as well. How was it getting back into the color commentary?
This was fantastic. I totally enjoyed myself. Hope it was okay. I was talking with a few people beforehand. The last time I did a broadcast was probably back in the 90s on the old Shaw cable TV, so very different with the technology. You're a master of a whole bunch of stuff going on between Twitter and the website and email, stats coming back and forth. Back in the day, it wasn't that tough, so great job, Tim.
Thank you so much. As I like to bring up that we are the most connected broadcast in the Canada West, and we try to do something that other schools aren't doing to bring in the viewers and have them be a part of it, even if they're pointing out stuff like, well, Terry Daniluk's shoes, which I've never really stared at before, but tonight there was a first, and also the Spartans' attire, their shorts. So, if it's something kind of on a jokey side like that, we appreciate that. Or if it's something a little more serious, just commenting on the match, we'd love to hear from you at CanadaWestTV@gmail.com. The coaches getting their gold medals here, and we are just moments away from the Spartans raising that trophy, in a special moment, because Trinity Western came so close last year to raising that conference championship, but ultimately falling to the Brandon Bobcats.
Yeah, that last year was a fantastic match in that Canada West final. 5-setter that Brandon eked out. Again, the rematch in the national final. So I think if the Spartans had to take their pick, they would have seen it that way too. It's always nice to win Canada West, but believe me, the national championship is what everybody's after. And as great as this is, these players are going to refocus after tonight. They're going to be back into it, and they're going to be ready to go for the big one, which is the national championship, and that'll take place next weekend in Manitoba.
All the seniors up there to receive the trophy. Jordy Kozlowski, including Eric Lepke, Jacob Kern, and Pierce Ashenko holding the hardware above him as the team moves in together and celebrates. It is the Spartans winning tonight and taking the Canada West Championship in the 2019-2020 season. Spartans taking the first set 25-21. They take second set by the same margin, 25-21, and the third 25-22. For Sports Information Director Scott Stewart, Manager of Media and Marketing Mark Jansen, the whole crew here at the LEC putting the broadcast together, and Ron Pike doing the color, my name is Tim James. Good night from Langley.